just so y'all know. All right,
But I say we go
good
ahead.
enough to get
Yeah,
started.
there's enough to get started. We're missing Larry and Lori.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. We have the minutes from the last meeting, and we were sent those. If anybody have anything that needed to be added or corrected, if not, I'll entertain a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, don't have any guests tonight? No? All right, Easter.
Right now, we're looking at $2,000 in donations so far.
Awesome.
We've spent $1,150 on candy and a backdrop for pictures. I talked to Bill Walters. He's donating a set of bikes.
Okay.
I've got a message out to Dee Webster about bikes. So we'll need a set of bikes at least. The chocolate rabbits. I think we're gonna need some more candy and eggs because it just doesn't look like what we have is what we had last
Yeah.
year.
Do you think the 2,000 will cover it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
At this
We
time,
have-
We need to get more.
Yeah.
Okay.
at this time, I would recommend ordering pre-filled eggs.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have time to start.
I can order those from Oriole. I had ordered 1,000 when we ordered candy. It was like $249.
Yep. I had some of those added to the mix last year too.
Yeah.
I had to.
So,
I've got about 500 pieces of candy,
Okay.
so I'll get the eggs and I'll
and
stop
Ivy
on the
Tech
weekend.
has said that they were gonna do a thing to try to get 500 eggs filled for us instead of donating money.
Cool.
But here's a list of our sponsors and what they've donated so far.
How many bikes you said we got?
I know for sure we have 2, so we'll need Dee Webster, and he hasn't got back to me yet. And then, so we'll need at least 2, possibly 4.
I'll try to get Miko Dooley and Cherry Williams to donate one. I'll
Okay.
call them when I get out here.
Bill Walters usually does like the little bikes.
So we
the
need big
little
bikes.
kids, So we'll need the bigger bikes.
Okay, I'll call them when I leave and see if I can
take
get
care
you.
of our prize chocolate bunnies.
Chocolate bunnies.
I'll take care of that.
All right.
Just save me some
We did
plastic
good.
eggs to put the prize
Okay.
things in.
Yes.
Do you do any kind of signage to put up to let them know about
I'm
it?
going to get a sign
I was
with
gonna say,
one of our sponsors. and
the
stuff.
year we did the drive-through, we started the drive-through, Santa trolley. We started doing like a little sign that has, since we didn't do shirts or, they didn't come in, and that's been something that people have really
Last
appreciated.
year, all I got was the donation money from Donna. I didn't get a list of sponsors,
Yeah.
so I had no idea who gave it. who
We just
didn't.
made like yard signs.
Yeah,
And, I mean, people just appreciated
Yeah,
that their name
I
was
agree.
on.
yeah,
$10.
That keeps us continuing to give.
yeah. So I'm gonna get with
Paperweight.
Paperweight and have them make just one of those little cardboard signs you can stick up
Yeah.
on the stake
Yep.
for everybody.
And then if you
can make-
allow me to set the PA system up that day, I will make announcements
Yeah.
Okay,
through the day as well.
that'd be good.
I'll be there.
Do you want me to help with some chocolate bunnies?
I'll get them.
You sure? Okay.
And I'll come over and fix
Let me see. The
we're doing
bronze
bags
is
this year
50.
instead of things.
So
I got about
just
another
whenever you
carload.
get ready, let me know. Miss Jackie said she'd like to come help.
Okay.
Depending on what you're doing, and if you let me know, if I can come, I will.
Okay.
I've already made sure I don't have to work that Saturday. I have to work the one before and after so I can be off of it.
Well, good. I'm glad you're.
I didn't even realize you guys were open on Saturday.
Yes, we're open from 9 to 12 and we are extremely busy from 9 to 12.
Saturdays, yeah.
What time do you want us there?
Hmm?
What time on Saturday do you want us there?
Let's see, we'll start at 10. So if everybody wants to get there at like 9, I'll have a lot of this stuff set up on Friday before we leave because there's not an event in that hall on Saturday because we usually don't rent out that whole weekend. so we can get things set up. So I'll set up like where our tables and stuff for, prizes, and we'll just have to set everything out.
Do
And
you
get
want me to
everything
help you
set up.
Friday after work?
You can.
Sure, okay.
Did you, thinking about that, I mean, I won't be here, I'll be in, Michigan with Anna Grace, but remember we talked about maybe starting a group chat for us to let us know who's gonna be there, so you can know who's gonna be there? Because things change, you know, we may say that 10 people are gonna be there and the night of something changes and you're stuck.
Absolutely.
Kind of like we were at the parks, I mean, at the
Amen.
daddy-daughter.
Amen.
Just so that way you know
Yeah.
to reach out
Okay.
and get extra help.
Plus it'll be a reminder too.
And it's a reminder too. I mean, I'm not saying it has to be like a group me or anything. It can literally just be a group,
Just a
Group text,
group
yeah.
text. Is fine.
Yeah, I can set that up.
Good, good.
I'll do that tomorrow.
Now, on that, can we just
And
do
then that
that?
way everybody can, you know,
Will
kind
the
of.
center be closed on that Friday? It's Good
Yes,
Friday.
that's Good Friday.
So like I could come over maybe that day and put them
Okay.
together.
Well,
Maybe
that'd be
we don't have to
good.
put
Yeah,
them
that'll
together and
probably
keep
be better
moving
if
them.
we have
Yeah,
everything
we can put
done.
them together and set them up and be done.
So it's Good Friday?
Yes. Yeah.
I just thought that we're not having to put them together and then move them and, you know, we can
Yeah,
just
that'd be.
put them
that'd be
together, set them up
perfect.
and be done.
Cause I mean, I don't have any plans that day. We can just meet.
Nobody's
there.
over there. We can
Yeah.
just set them up and leave them be done.
Okay, that'll work.
Okay. I'll get with you on a time.
Last year we kind of had chaos at the end of the day, giving out prizes.
Well, it was
People were
raining.
crowding the table.
It was raining.
It started raining. Everybody was just like trying to crowd in. I think that's where we kind of got lost with the Easter egg turn-in. Everybody was just on top of one another.
I think if it's not raining, it'll be better to do the name calling outside
Outside.
and then send them in with the,
To get the prizes,
yeah.
so we can do that.
Let's say we'll set the PA up and we'll just mark.
Move it because it's movable.
It
That's
just
right.
happened to be
On the
raining,
cart.
We just have to have electricity.
We just gotta have a plug.
Yeah.
because it was raining last year. That's why we had to move everything.
So hopefully this year, we don't have any rain, we don't have to worry about any of that.
It's far out, but
And it's
it
gonna
goes to be okay.
pretty. So,
Hey, on this sponsor list and on the thing that you're going to get made, if you have someone that donates bikes, I would say put them in one of the sponsors, and also like IB Tech if they're going to do eggs.
yes,
Like, I mean, just equivalent. I mean, you don't have to leave anybody off just because they didn't give them mine.
most definitely.
Yeah.
Even if you just list it as something separate, or if you think it's $100 equivalent, or
Oh, yeah. But if we have to move it inside, let's set up cones to give us room.
Mm-hmm.
To keep
Yeah.
the people off the top of us, trying to,
Do we have any of that,
Caution tape?
caution tape.
There should be some in the
I don't know if
closet.
there's
the
any
cones
in there,
won't stop them.
but I do
but if
believe-
I know the police have.
Well, we
Not
know,
either, but it'll help.
Yeah.
We
There
put
was-
the cones in the
There
room.
should be a
that
roll in the
caution tape around.
closet.
I think there is,
There's
but I'm
a-
not 100% sure.
Because I got a
we
big
used it-
roll.
We used it,
Okay.
Might have used it for Halloween.
Halloween, and we used it for Easter to talk
Okay.
in between the sticks.
Okay.
So that's all I've got for that.
All right, and then
Sounds fun.
we'll be there. And you're gonna set up the group text, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Boys and Girls Club update.
You want me to go ahead? So basically, from your feedback and other feedback, we're going to just do a trial
I
run.
thought that's what it was.
Yeah, and so Corey, our attorney, is setting up just a really, the contract that they have is very, very thick, and I get that for long term. We're just going to do a memorandum of understanding of how we expect you to lead the center and that kind of stuff. And
Basically a city agreement.
yes, and then that should be voted on next Tuesday night by
Okay.
the commission. And, I think that if everything goes well, we'll be okay. If everything doesn't go well, we won't be okay. But I think that's kind of where we're heading. So
All right.
it's on the agenda for March, and they had told
And their trial period, if I remember our discussion correctly, was like,
it's through from
Summer.
summer to fall break.
yeah, and I think they'll be, if something is horrible, we'll be like, no, back out. But I don't foresee that at all, but I think we'll have the ability to do that. So I think, we did for like October, first week of
okay,
October.
that way they get some of the summer to
We
make a
see how they
decision,
go
plus
work through the-
And we're talking about like meeting on a regular
the
basis.
structured versus non-structured is going to be a huge difference,
Yeah.
as their turnout,
Yeah.
I wish I'd have had more kids, but when you start giving rules and regulations, you lose a lot of them.
You do, yeah. And that'll be part of this process.
It will be
Sure,
part of the
yeah.
process, exactly.
So that will be in front for a vote, and Boys and Girls Club told Alicia and I that if they knew in March, they could market the program.
Yes.
So that was enough time, so we're kind of on track.
Okay, good.
All right, update on Little League fields.
We have hired, Paul Duggar,
Yeah.
Duggar painting, to paint the outbuildings. All of one
How about the
color.
infield? They get the infield done before they get the infield taken care of before?
We're just trying to get it done as quick as possible.
Yes, as quick as
We're paying for the
possible.
paint.
Their
and-
season starts in a couple of weeks, so just,
I know the paint's not gonna affect them being able to play, but I know there was some
No.
question about the dirt on the field.
Yeah.
Was there?
Okay.
They were out there
that?
working last weekend.
Yeah,
the dirt, they ordered 2 loads.
okay,
They went ahead and ordered a load for each field,
okay,
because that was doable for them to get done to be able to play.
okay.
They have asked if we could do 2 loads in the fall to finish out what they need done. So that right now has just been put off till the fall.
Okay.
I think we're good. Is there anything else request out there that we haven't responded to? I think we're good with everything
No, I
they've
think
asked
for
for.
them, that's it.
Okay.
They were gonna follow up and give something to be on next year's budget?
Yes.
Was that done?
We said,
They're supposed
well,
to be
we're
making a
in the
wish list.
process now. We said,
Doing the
ask
budget,
now
yeah.
for what you want for next year's
Okay.
budget. So they have like the next couple of months to do that.
Yeah. They're supposed to be compiling a wish list of sorts.
Yeah.
Of things that need to
It
happen.
helps us.
Which
have
some of
that
it was
way
maintenance
ahead of
that's on the
time.
building that, like, some of the things they're talking about were things that were already on a list to get done at some point in time. It just hasn't
Just
occurred
hasn't
yet.
been done yet.
Yeah.
Doorknobs and things like that was already been on a list, yeah.
So like things are getting marked off over there. It's just taking a little bit.
And they have a
Just trying
great turnout as far as the
Yes.
number of kids.
Yes.
I forget how many they said. It was like 100 and
I just know it was up from last year.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
definitely up.
Yeah, I think
Over 150.
I think Dixie Youth being a part of it is kind of,
well,
a lot of
that cuts
restrictions.
that cuts a lot of your kids.
That's right.
Like kids from Summertown
That's right.
can't come.
It restricted them so
Yeah,
much.
they were restricted because of like your school setup
Boundaries,
and where you're located at.
your boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're playing baseball.
Yeah, which I think is going to be good for.
And
the
if I'm not
league.
mistaken, it seems like there are more teams or more opportunities for practice is becoming an issue for them as well.
Yes.
I was
And now
standing
with
at
the
Gardenia
field-
Park playing the other day. Looks like they were playing baseball out there.
Yeah.
The Gardenia Park practice is somewhere on that back corner.
Now that the fields are off limits while they're working on them, they're having to practice at Howard Field and at our parks.
Yeah.
To try to get.
Yeah, I seen them
things to
around.
practice.
So they're finding places to play. Good.
Yeah. Some of them have even called to use the center when it's raining.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
that's all under, old or unfinished business. New business, the lights at Aramons Park, I think they came and
I
talked to
have
us last
looked into
time.
those. I have, looked at the solar lights that she mentioned. For 100-watt Dust Till Dawn light start kits, like the whole thing, pole lights, everything. It starts at $220.45.
The actual pole too?
That's the pole.
Okay.
That's not the kind of pole that I don't think that can be, I mean, that's not the kind of pole we'd have to have.
Uh-uh.
We
That's the
probably
kind
have
of
to
pole
have
that you could put in your personal yard, Alicia.
Yeah.
And
We need something that somebody
way
can't
bigger.
take away.
Right.
Yeah.
You had to have a telephone pole.
Well, I talked to Chad.
Did you?
Chad, I did. At the power system today. He went out there and he looked to see like how many, just to kind of give me an estimate of cost. If we put lights out there, he recommends doing one pole with 2 lights. Just the standard like street lights or security lights. The poles will cost us $150. And then it'll add 20, with the 2 lights, it'll add about $20 to the city's street light a month.
Forever.
Well, forever, perpetual. And my next question is, that's controllable by a switch then as well.
Is 150 for both or each?
Per pole.
Okay. So each.
So he said 1 pole, 2 lights.
Okay.
and that's $20 a month plus $150. And my question is, has anybody asked the neighbors that live right
That's my
across the street?
question. Yeah.
Because if it's dusk till dawn lights, that means they're on all night long.
I would want to do a whole circle.
Well, does
People that
that-
live behind it.
Well, but does
around it.
that not fall under, I mean, right now?
'Cause right now, our ordinance says you can't be in the park at
The
dark.
park's closed
Yeah.
at night.
That's Murray County
So
ordinance too.
That's why we haven't moved very quickly.
That's what I was gonna ask.
And that was gonna be my next question, is does that not go against
Would that be in
our
our ordinance? How we
our
get-
ordinance we have already?
All that would have to be changed if you guys
Yes.
want to put
Yeah.
And before you can change that, I think you definitely have to have public involvement of some kind.
I don't know if it's just one person that wants to do this, or there's a groundswell of people that we don't know about.
I
I've
think
just
we
heard
should
it.
have an open, you know, if
Yeah,
it needs.
because I've never heard anybody saying that this is what they want, and if they do, then we can.
I'm not opposed to the solar lights, but the more and more I think about solar, we tried to buy some new lights over at the bank recently that were going to be different and better, and they're, and out of the 6, 3 are out already. I have to go back to the conventional style that I know I have to replace bulbs on, but at least I can replace the bulb. Otherwise, I got to hire somebody to come and do it. Okay, and versus solar lights that supposedly last for however long, that don't, you know,
Yeah, and what's, like, my thing is.
and you have no
like,
control
kids are
over them
gonna be
either.
Kids,
That's right.
and it doesn't matter what neighborhood, where these kids are from or whatnot, if they're.
Well, look at the center, the lights in the center and the west
They're
hall.
gonna tear something up.
Well,
Remember
if
the
they find out
payment?
lights are on over there, they're going to head that way.
You know, the lights are gonna, rocks are gonna be thrown at things.
I think there's pros and cons to
Mhm.
having, I don't necessarily think it should be all night by no means, but I do know, I mean, there's sometimes, you know, people who work, even when it's cooler, but there could be a warmer day. If there was light, that could get them outside for
That's
the
right.
day.
Yes.
You know, I feel like there's pros and cons to it.
Do we think that maybe like instead of saying, you know, that the park's closed at dark, have an exact time
I
that
think
the park
so.
closes?
You know,
9 or 10
I mean,
p.m.
because again, like I
something?
said, you know,
I agree.
at 4:35
Well, we had to do the dog
but
park.
all of a sudden there's a warm 2 or 3 days in a row,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not supposed to be there. Or
Well,
you
and with
can't
the
be
time
there.
change, sometimes it's darker
Yeah.
later,
Agree.
sometimes it's not.
We had to do that at the dog park, guys, because somebody was going there after with their dog, like at 7:30 at night, and that's not that late. But they're, you know, the sign said
Dusk.
dusk, you know, so we
Like
changed
in
that
the
to say
wintertime,
8
dusk is
8 p.m.
It could be, you know, I mean, that just might be somebody that wants to just walk
Yeah.
or sit in a park because they've had a long day and they just want to hang out for.
And I think we
you know,
might suggest that they change it to an exact time that the park would close. And then if you had lights, they shut off at that time.
Yeah,
If
and
it's 9 p.m.,
But if you also have
10
lights, and if we did do a Parks and Rec event, okay, that we hosted it at a park,
leave lights
then we
on.
could turn the lights on.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about, and this is just me, because if you guys feel differently, I don't have a problem with it. What about sending a letter out? So like if somebody wants a beer license, we send a letter out to, like, we create this big radius, and we send a letter to everybody saying, somebody's requested, or people are, we are thinking of putting lights out there, and you do Arrowmines Road, you do Conway, Gray.
You have to do it.
You do,
You got to do over by by Rotary Park too. Because if you do it there, then you got to do it over by the pavilion at Rotary Park too. It would be fair to let people go to one park and not the other. You know, so you have to do it on
You're
that.
first gonna have to get it, I mean,
I think
you
you
need
have
to
to
send the
get
letters out because
Yeah.
you're first gonna have to get an
it would
ordinance
have to be.
to change the
That's
time.
right.
Because right now, ordinances are
I
done.
think you have to do all parks. I don't think you can say this park or that park.
So, but
And that's gonna be a
my
conflict,
concern is
because
that
Williams
we're
Crane Park would be
changing our
included in the county
ordinances, and
park.
there's really nobody, it's one person has come to us.
That's what I'm saying. I would need to know that it was something that was
Yeah.
desired by, because it's not, it's going to be $150 for a pole at that park, a pole at Rotary Park,
Every
plus
park.
at every park.
But
With $20 additional for each car bill.
Basketball. I played basketball there with car lights on at 8 or 9 o'clock at night when I was in high school. I mean,
Yeah.
I know there are
Oh,
kids
yeah,
that would
yeah.
enjoy that. Just like I know there's my mama that might just need to give her kids to her daddy, and take a walk on the lap.
Mhm.
I just think that we've never had that option. Like we
Yeah.
don't have that option, so we don't know if it is something that is desired. And you know, I feel like most people follow rules, so our rules are till dusk.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
know,
know the basketball court is going up, at Gardenia. We have the basketball court over at Rotary,
the Rotary.
that's up by on the fields.
There's one over there on Second Avenue,
Oh, yep, there's one over there, Clark Street.
Clark Street.
We know, I mean, if we followed our own rules, like when those, Little League games are going on over there, nobody can really be at that park playing basketball because
No, there's kids over there all
but
the
there's
time.
kids over there, you know, I mean, and you wanna tell a kid, no, you can't be on that.
Cause they play off the lights.
They play off the lights that's already there, but really they're breaking the rules.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just feel like I don't know, I feel like 6, 7 o'clock is too early. Some people work 12-hour shifts, some kids
Don't
can't,
disagree.
you know.
But
So
that's
why
something-
don't you guys as a committee make a recommendation to send it to the city commission and we
And
can-
maybe that's what we ask, instead of is there a need or a want, what time does the city think should be? I mean,
Because we would
I
have
just
to
think it
have,
definitely warrants a conversation.
we would have to have public hearings
Mm-hmm.
because you're gonna have to change the ordinance.
so what do people?
And that's gonna have to be the first step.
Yes, but I think it definitely warrants that conversation because I know it's just the one lady, but that's not the only conversation that's taking place because
And we can advertise that and have some meetings set up if you're interested, you know,
I'm
keeping
saying
our
that
parks
the
open till
most
later at night.
The
or-
informative thing we ever did was that meeting that we had, that public meeting.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I've lived here my whole life and I never thought we had a need for a dog park, and it was number 1 on the list.
yeah, I agree, Missy.
Like, it's
And
just-
that's the kind of
so
meeting that
solid- I mean,
I agree.
informative.
I agree. I think we got a lot out of it.
We did.
Get a splash pad and a dog park out of that meeting, you know? And both of them are well utilized. They're the two things that I think that we've done in the last years that people asked for. You might not have guessed it, but they definitely used it.
Well, you know, another thing with the whole, you know, I know it's maybe people think of it as, you know, it's after dark, people are gonna do, you know, bad things. People do bad things in the light every day.
Every
You
day.
know,
In the
I mean,
dark.
I mean, they don't have to have lights.
they don't have to have lights to not do the
Look
right
at Clark
thing.
Street, that's a prime example.
They don't, yeah.
Broken beer bottles all over the court.
All the time. No matter how many times you get to clean up, they're right back.
And clean that off.
I'm just, I don't want to restrict people.
But maybe if lights and kids are using it more often, maybe it wouldn't have as much glass on it. It wouldn't, I mean, just saying, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's a park that I think would get utilized later into the evening.
So I think our first step is to set up some public meetings.
I agree, because that is more money, because that's gonna be 20, 40, 60, it's 80, probably $100 more a month, every month. That's gonna come off the Parks and Rec budget for
Well, it shouldn't
utilities.
be that much if we're not keeping them on all night.
Yeah, but I think it's $20 perpetual. We pay $380, if I'm not mistaken, for the power poles and lights at the baseball field. It's perpetual, whether
Okay.
they're on or not,
Oh, okay.
okay?
It is.
It's perpetual.
So I think our first step is gonna be set up some public meetings. We need to do that.
And find out if
Public
it needs to be
input.
brought to the commission to change the ordinance. I mean,
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
people
have
even,
public
We
meetings.
may have that meeting and nobody show up and say we wanna change
no,
the
no
time.
need to bring it to the commission.
And I'm,
Because I said we should have
I don't know what
public
you guys
input
think.
meeting.
I like having it at the community center. I think more people came because it's at the community center and not here.
Yeah,
You get more people in there.
But I also think people sometimes get a wrong vibe about this, that it's not as open or it's not as,
They feel like it's court.
yeah, you know, I just feel like I mean,
Oh, I definitely agree, yeah.
yeah, I think it should be.
You know, I think we should do it at the community center. I think we can set the chairs out like we did last time, put a couple
Oh,
of
I
easels
agree.
out with some big,
Got any-
right on the
any-
pads.
any day that
and let's
is-
just ask.
You're in
Yeah.
trouble.
probably a Saturday
Uh-huh.
would be the best.
What did we do?
We did.
It was like a Thursday, it was an
Yeah, I thought
evening
it was,
meeting.
I thought it was an evening meeting.
Thursday evening, something like that. Yeah,
Maybe
because the
we-
chamber
maybe
will
we
move with
did a
here.
couple different And did like a weekend day. do
Yeah,
a-
for
One
somebody
night
that can't
day
be
on
on the
We usually
weekend.
do both to
Yeah.
try and
Yeah.
appeal to both.
Some
least
people
have
may
one
work
during the
12
week
hours
and one
during
on the
Monday through
weekend.
Friday and they can't come till
Or
Saturday.
somebody's working the weekend.
And some people work just weekends.
That's right.
So we need to have one during the week and one on the
Yeah.
weekend.
I agree.
But I definitely think the
How
community
soon
center
do
is
y'all
the
want
place to do
to
it.
try to get this together?
As soon as we
As soon
can.
as possible.
I don't know why we will
I mean,
wait.
Do we have a day that we could get into the community center that's
So I
not
think we gotta
booked?
put it out there for,
You gotta advertise it
Like 2
first.
weeks or so? 2 weeks maybe? Got something
Maybe a
open in
month.
2 weeks?
I mean, especially if we wanna try
The
to
first
get it
one.
changed before summertime or.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah, get Easter egg hunt behind you and maybe
Okay, and then
do,
we'll start.
like, try and
look
do
at
it
April.
first April.
Okay, but if you go ahead and put it out there.
Yeah.
And
that'll
start,
give us-
Oh, yeah, you can be advertising it.
Advertise it. and
yeah, we're gonna do it at the
date.
community center on such and such date. Go ahead and get people, put it on their calendars.
Yeah.
Start posting it out on social media because we'll all share it.
Saturday, Sunday?
Hmm?
I would do a weeknight and a
I
weekend,
would do like a Tuesday, Thursday, and then like a,
Saturday,
Saturday
late
or
morning or
Sunday after
something.
church or something.
Yeah, we do a Tuesday and a Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday mid-morning, I wouldn't do like too early, 'cause
Yeah.
lunch, 11, 10, 11.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay,
I'll get on that.
Okay,
all right.
moving right along.
Do you
Nick-
have, when is the, are they doing that, vendors thing again?
When's the next one? That's
I don't
not,
think that would be a good time.
it's a while. Yeah.
You need to get paperwork into me and to the city for prom.
Yeah. I tried to deliver the message for somebody named Philip, but he said,
Yeah.
I'm out of it. So there you go.
I got it.
Busy.
I think they're the next one, let's see, I got it wrote down. May the 4th,
Oh, that's too late. I was gonna say maybe we could
Closer to
postpone
Mother's
that.
Day?
I mean, do the same. If we-
Yeah, that's a great turnout.
That is a great turnout. There'd be a lot of people to get into it. That might be too late. We waited till May.
well, we'll get started on that.
All right, next, it says background check policy for coaches.
I think this has been on here, and maybe even Alicia brought it up. I wasn't able to make last month's meeting. Is we are trying to figure out if there's anything that we need to do differently. We do have some people that want to coach, and some have charges that don't involve children, that they can't get removed. I don't know if there's a right or wrong, but I mean, we keep turning down coaches. And I don't know if there's a middle ground that we have a comfort level with, that let's say it was a drug charge and you haven't had anything on your record for 10 years or something like that. Didn't involve people, didn't involve violence. And I don't know what that happy medium is, but we have parents and coaches that want to help, and we are just turning them away.
Yeah, we had a guy that was pretty upset about
I
that
am-
last year.
If I'm, yeah,
I don't know the right answer,
yeah,
and I don't know.
I'm not gonna say a whole lot about it.
Yeah, I don't know what our insurance would say if we said
I'm not
that
gonna say a
we're
lot about
changing anything, and I don't know, we don't even have a recommendation from the police department, but it's just
Well, I've been doing a little
there-
research,
okay.
okay? Been doing a little research, and most, not all, most felony charges that do not involve children can be expunged 5 years after the
The conviction happens.
completion of your sentence.
Mhm.
Not your trial, not your, but if you had to serve 5 years, then 5 years later,
you mean like
you can get it
probation.
expunged unless it involved children.
And
I
I
think-
think, is that our all time down is felonies? Is that our only like,
Well, like drug charges, like any kind of drug charges as of right now.
If it's
I
a
think will
felony,
get you,
But I
But
think
it
it's
has to be a
expensive.
felony.
to
Yeah,
get
I was gonna say, the guy that was
expunged.
here last year, his biggest complaint was the cost to get
To
it.
get the attorney to,
It says $100 is what it costs.
I don't think that's true.
well, Michael.
No.
No, that's not true, Milton. I can tell you that's not true.
People spend thousands to try to get something expunged.
yeah.
Michael also said that if it's a aggravated assault,
It'll never get expunged.
it'll never get expunged.
Anything that's
So,
aggravated,
Yes, it will never be expunged.
does that mean the
It
weapon
shouldn't
was
be.
involved? It shouldn't.
it shouldn't be, guys.
think
You're a guest, yeah.
No,
Come on.
you're part of the family. Come on up.
You got a charge with school zone children or groups. I don't think you ought to be able to cut. But I think if you just got drug charges and you've been clean, ain't get in no trouble for 5, 6 years, I think you need another opportunity to get back to your community. That's my thought. But I think if you got, where you don't harm children or you don't beat your wife to death, no, you don't be around kids.
So whose job is it to
So I think
To
it's
do
up to
that.
the board to y'all decide.
And I would think that if we would allow that, we'd say you're subject to drug testing.
because I will never vote for it as a parent. Just won't.
But I think it also, you gotta look at the rules and regulations about insurance, because that's what we had the issue with when that other guy came in here going off on us. It wasn't just about getting it expunged, it's gotta be with the insurance or something, it had to be for so long, I can't remember exactly
Well,
what it
anything
was.
we would do. we
And he
would run
got
by
in
the
trouble
insurance.
again
Yeah.
afterwards. too.
Well, I don't even care so much about the expunging thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want somebody to have to pay money. I mean, they did their time. They've done like, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it
Like
has
if
to be
some,
bunch.
okay, prime example. If you were young and dumb and in your 20s and you got caught with drugs, you served your time, you did your prison, whatever, you got yourself clean, you turned your life around. Does that make me a bad person?
No.
Right. Then I know
Do you have a problem with me being around your children? Like, yeah, I was young, I was dumb. Don't do what I did.
Great.
And there are so many people out there that have turned their lives around. You
There's a
know,
lot
that
of
have
people
made
doing, there's a
something
lot
of
of bad people doing bad things that just haven't got caught either.
And
Amen.
there are people walking around this town that
I
are
see
doing
it
their
every day.
children,
I mean,
Already.
are still living that you have no idea.
Now
They just haven't been caught yet.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be the person who has to make the decision.
I
And I don't know
still
what
think we have to
liability
go by
falls,
what's
because if we
legal,
say
by
yes,
insurance.
Yeah,
and then something bad does happen.
Our insurance would have to say yes.
It would come back on you, come back on the city.
I
Yeah.
feel like it has to be illegal. We have to do,
Yeah, you have to
they do
do
legal
legal.
first. We have to do
Yeah.
insurance, we have to
Yeah.
do all
And-
that.
Yeah, I don't want to
People
vote on
think
it
it-
ever to
I think
have to
it
be
would
the
be
one
a-
that said yes or no.
I think it would need to be a case by case basis. And not just say, like, set the guidelines. And depending on what kind of drug charges you have, or what kind of,
Then you have to change our ordinance that says you can't have a felony.
right.
Right, all that would have to change, yeah.
Because there are some really good men that were in with the youth football league when Phil and I were there, that my son got coached by,
Mm-hmm.
that were former felons,
Uh-huh.
that made an impact on him.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Well, I know some of them, and they're great guys.
And I just
Do a
feel
good
like
job with
we
the-
have to draw the line and not continue in the cycle of their punishment. Because then some of their greatest punishment now is
that people will not give them that
not
chance.
getting the people giving them a chance.
Mhm.
And I mean, again, I feel like you can learn some of your best life lessons
Yeah.
from people who have went
And I mean,
through.
those people, some of those people have great testimonies to say, hey, you know, this is what I did,
Learn from me.
and I paid for it.
But I don't think we can
And now I'm
blanket, I don't
here.
think we can blanket. I think
No.
we have to
Do you think-
probably look at case by case basis, because you and I might be charged with the same felony. We might have served the same time, but what we did might have been totally different.
Yep. That is true.
I mean,
And I think the whole children thing, I think some of that stuff, we just have to say that.
No.
And I'd hate to have us to have missed something, guys, somewhere, not knowing all the information
Right.
and making the decision, not having known all the details, and that come back and bite us. Huh?
Let them do a background check, and then you bring it to the board, and the board decides.
Background checks don't always work,
Yeah.
because my
That's what
husband,
you use when you go for the
no,
job.
my husband got caught with a stolen bike when he was 19 years old. Went in the military, came out, went to work at Nissan, all these background checks. And when he went to get a gun, he had a felony on his record that we had to go to Chicago and get off before he could get a gun permit.
and I'm going to give y'all another example of someone that I know who was 18. His girlfriend was 17. They skipped school and went to Point Mallard, which is
Cross state line.
across the state line into Alabama.
Yep.
He was
Felony.
charged
That's right.
with the felony of taking a minor across
Across the state
He is
line.
on the sex offender registry today
Yes.
for taking his 17-year-old girlfriend across the parents' press charges
Yep.
because he skipped school and went to Point Mallard with his girlfriend. He's 18, she's 17, and he is a felon today and is on the sex offender registry, cannot attend events at the local schools or anything like that because children are there, because that, to me, that's different than somebody who molested or abused a
Exactly.
child.
Exactly.
That, to me, it's just an angry parent because their daughter didn't listen and she
Yes.
was rebelling against it.
But he
Didn't
still
do what
has
he
the
was
same
told to
felony
do.
charge that somebody else has.
Because legally, that's what he did, although she went willfully
Yeah.
and whatever. It's like he took that bike. He knew it was stolen when he took it and gave $10 for it. But I mean, it never came up on his record till 60 years later.
I don't want to be the person to have to make the call.
About
either.
5 years
Yeah, I
ago, he
don't want to
decided
make
to
the
go
call.
get a pistol and he could get
And
it
I don't mean
because
that
of
with disrespect to anybody. I just don't want to be the one to make the call.
Maybe the next step is to reach out to insurance.
Yep.
Which would be Latoya can help you with the contact on that.
Yep.
Callie Westerfield, and then
And
reach out to
Corey.
MTS and say, what are other cities doing?
No matter what you do, you're not gonna make everybody happy.
Right.
There's gonna be
Absolutely.
some parent on that team that's gonna be upset because
Well,
the
you know,
coach
if
is a
nothing
felon.
else, we can, if we can't fix it, we can at least say we tried.
Right.
I mean, we're trying
Yeah.
to take a step
That's
in that
right.
direction.
And because we say somebody can't coach, doesn't mean they can't be out there volunteering. They're not listed as a coach.
No, as of our ordinance, they
They
are
can't
not
even go
allowed.
No, they
to
can't,
be.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying last year. He can even be on the field
Not in
out
contact
there
with
with
children.
his child.
Wow.
Had to be in the bleachers.
I guess I've forgotten that.
Yes.
I don't know how you
Like I
forgot that, because he
said, in
made
the
a
whole
big
conversation
You
with-
might
I
have
didn't make
been,
that
you made a
ordinance.
I
you
forgot
remember
about
the
them
guy-
not being able to be on the, even be there.
Yeah,
When
I
he
didn't
got
make the
last
ordinance.
year,
This is the way it reads.
It was right after he got on Parking Ridge, yeah.
And maybe that, if we can't fix the other, maybe we could fix that part of it. If we couldn't,
Yeah.
I don't think that being in charge part. Again, I just feel like we gotta make some step in a direction to.
Like you said, at least we're trying.
Yeah.
But
Right.
there are people out there that definitely deserve that second chance to be able to say, hey, I'm moving past this. You can have a life after you mess up.
Right.
But we've all messed up.
Help me, help myself.
Yes, might not got caught, but we all have.
I speak on my own child. He did a lot of dumb stuff when he was little. But you can't beat him now giving back to the community. So he does a lot that a lot of people don't know about. He don't want to coach anything, but I would hate to think that he wanted to coach. He don't did his time. He don't gave back to the community. Then it'd be held against him because he won't go out there and let it coach his son. So I'm speaking on my own. He ain't hurt no children or nothing like that. He just made a dumb decision. But he served his time. Now he does give back to the city a whole lot more. And Alicia can vouch for that. So I'm just saying, I know that you can't put them all in the same bowl and say, no, they can't
We'll
go.
pay that price forever.
Yeah, he don't get his time, he don't. But you don't want him to do this, this, and this, but the city, let's take his donation and all that. That's wrong too. So half the people that you talk about is most of the ones that's giving back to the community.
Well, they don't realize like that they're so given because they got it taken away and now they realize what
Yeah.
they had. I feel like that's.
Well, and a lot of people don't know that the person was even in this situation to begin with. Because they don't talk about it.
No.
And it's not, I mean, truly and honestly, it's no one's business.
What did they get?
But when it comes down
it's totally
to, when it comes down to that, then it becomes knowledgeable and you're like, hey, no,
You would be surprised at some of the people in this community that have felony
That's
charges
right.
or had them. You'd be surprised at some of the
Yes.
ones
Yeah, and
that,
they be debating the one that's giving back.
but even that, there may be people that aren't doing that you just would
Well,
be
no.
surprised. But I did do, like I said, I checked on, and I even talked with Judge Chapman in the juvenile courts, because a lot of times there are kids that get felonies as a juvenile, and if they mess up and do something stupid, not a felony type charge, but if I'm 17 and I've got a felony charge, it's supposed to be sealed at 18.
Right.
But the way it works in the courts, if I do something stupid,
It's open back up.
it's opened back up and added to me as an adult.
Yep.
It
We
sure
have-
is.
It is. And so I asked him about, because I wanted to know about the expungement. You and I talked,
Yeah.
and I started doing research on expungement. You can pay a lawyer, pay lots of money, but there are some things that you can get expunged for free. The fee to file the expungement is $100. You don't
That's
have
what
to
you're
have
talking about.
You don't have to have an
fill out
attorney.
the paperwork.
You don't have, that's the fee that goes with it to turn it in. But you don't have to have a lawyer to get an expungement. You can fill out the paper, but most people try to get it expunged before the time. It has to be 5 years after your discipline. Look, like if they told you have 10 years of probation, then 5 years after your 10 years of probation, you can file for the expungement. Most people try to file it 5 years after the hearing, but no, it has to be 5 years
I got it.
after the punishment.
Gotcha.
And most of the time, unless it involved children, if it involved children, they will not expunge it at all.
Well, see, that's kind
So-
of good though. I mean, that information needs to be known.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just,
If it involved children, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say no every time.
Well,
yeah,
everybody-
me too.
You know, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying for those
Yeah.
that haven't got those charges, I think they need a second chance.
I guess that's my biggest question is how do I know?
Yeah.
How do I know? as a person sitting here.
But if I feel you have to go by background check,
Well,
I just think you.
I don't know how much information about background check that I actually get to see.
well, you wouldn't know the whole life. You wouldn't know about my child.
Yeah,
don't
I
know
would.
anything
But
about it.
I could go and be the worst person of the worst, and I look good on paper. So you just don't know. You just have to have faith.
The only thing in the background check is going to be convictions.
Yeah.
You get a job, or they
Well,
go
you
you
could be-
background check. You don't know about that person.
I mean, you could be one of the prominent people in the city and you're smoking up every day, you're selling drugs every day.
Yeah.
Like, and nobody knows that.
You
So-
But you ain't got caught yet.
Yeah.
And I get that. And in 25 other states in this country, it's legal already anyway. You know, so.
Right.
So it's legal everywhere, and these people went to jail for it back years ago. It's legal now.
Yeah.
You still hold them accountable?
They're trying to, right now,
I didn't
they're,
ask you that. I said, do you hold them accountable even though it's getting?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
And in Illinois right now, they're trying to change that. It's a big to-do,
A
because
lot of people went to prison for that.
That's right.
Felony.
we're doing the same thing that it's legal for now.
But I'm
Why you
saying-
still hold me in jail?
That's why I
Yeah.
think about the coach. Why can't they
Exactly.
coach? Because it's legal now. Back then, it was illegal to smoke weed, but now it's getting legal.
Yeah, it just ain't legal in Tennessee.
I said, that's what I'm saying.
Probably right around the corner.
But I think starting with our insurance to say, hey, what are we held under by
Yeah.
our insurance policy?
Let's wait for that.
Her name is
And I
Kelly
would-
Westerfield.
And I would see what our insurance policy says, because it may, if we said, okay, we're going to allow this, they may drop us from the insurance
We're not gonna go
policy.
that far. We got that issue.
You know, I'm just saying, I would check,
all the legal. You gotta do.
Yeah.
You gotta start legal. You gotta start with
yeah,
police department.
Right.
We gotta have all that in before we ever can
Yes.
say any
Right.
like, even
If you
maybe.
go down those roads, and if it's still no, then we can't retry it.
I mean, we can start getting our ducks in a row and get all this information
hmm
and then figure out how we can move forward from that.
and what
take the
adjustments
position-
we could make, because
Yeah.
things, from when we got that insurance policy, no telling how many years ago we've been on the same
Right.
insurance, things might have changed, but if, y'all know as well as I do, like your homeowner's insurance, you just pay the premium every year, you don't look at the documents,
Exactly.
and things change.
They do.
And so we need to start with the insurance. Start
Because
there and work
like,
from
I don't
that.
know how other leagues work it as far as like what's allowed.
But they may have a different insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they may,
They may have a different insurance.
and their policies may be set to where, it's like a blanket limitation, like if you've been in trouble within the last 10 years.
It could
You're
be,
not coach,
yeah, it depends on
It
whatever
doesn't
your
matter what it
insurance
is,
says. Right.
but it all just like, things need to change and we need to do better.
Now, this is coaches for what? For the baseball?
Baseball.
Okay.
Well, any,
And it would also-
Baseball, football, all
And
that.
it would also.
Anytime they're using city property.
yeah, any,
Yeah.
it would also be
Okay.
able to-
Which, that's the reason, another thing, Pop Warner, youth football, they requested multiple times to use
Well,
city property, and they were
There's
not
been some
allowed to.
exchanges with them that have been made aware of. Some people have stepped down out of office and coaching.
Yeah.
So they may be looking to us to try to get on our fields to practice.
I think
So
it was
this
for
is
the
definitely
same
a-
reason that we didn't allow, if I'm not mistaken, that's why we didn't allow them to use our property, because they had felony coaches.
Yes.
That's what we're trying to get changed.
Yeah.
And those are the same felony coaches that, took time to coach my kid to help make him the man who he is today. Because they said, I was dumb. Don't do what I did. I'm here. I've changed my life. Do better.
Right.
We'll start with insurance.
I think that's a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. We got anything else?
I'll make the motion.
Oh, yeah. Help me to bring that up again, that we were talking about getting basketball goals and in
On
the
the wall,
in the community center so that we could have the younger kids have a league there. And I know it's been discussed in the past, and I can't remember how that ended up. Like we could have, we were going to replace basketball goals in the West Hall, so you could have with third grader
Like
type.
permanent goals on the wall.
Yeah.
What would really be, what I always hoped that we would get would be the kind of like you have at the school that you can actually raise and lower up, for
Yeah.
events and stuff like that. That would be great. They're just really expensive.
Definitely
Is that what it is? It was a cost prohibitive? I mean, I knew we had talked about it before.
They're really expensive. Yeah.
At first, we talked about mounting some on the wall.
And I did.
And that,
We have some mounted on the wall at the community center now.
They're still there.
They're just not very great.
Yeah.
They're what we can
They're
afford.
not.
right,
well,
but the
they're
little
not
kids
very-
couldn't, they're not more.
They're more set.
They're 11
older
feet.
Kids.
Yeah.
And you can't lower them down.
Right.
And I had some adjustable goals that were there, you know, and.
But having to move them in and out after or around
Yeah,
for
exactly.
events.
And what happens with the adjustable goals is that the bigger kids like to dunk them to death, you know, and so the little kids don't really get to play with them anyway because they get destroyed pretty quickly.
So,
But if you had some that you could put up and put away for the league, or if there was some kind of league coming and you charge a fee for a league, then that you can buy the.
That's what the question brought to me when I brought it to Kate.
yeah, I don't know how much those
I think third
adjustable
through
ones.
Fifth grade didn't have a league this year. They would just want to know if they could use the community center, if we can get some goals. They will pay a fee to use it. But they didn't have nowhere for them to play, and they want to know if they could use the community center, if it was goals, to hold girl or boys basketball games.
What happened to the league at the elementary?
I have no idea.
Elementary school, they
I went through the
were.
first, I think it went through kindergarten through second.
Yeah, they had one.
They have one
finished
this
it
year,
last
they
year.
didn't have nothing from the third through the fifth.
And that same lady that was here about the lights tried to get a league for third through fifth grade, or maybe even, yeah.
she
Last year,
Yeah.
and was taking up money and everything, and then there was a roadblock, and I don't know what that roadblock is, but I think we need to find out what that roadblock is.
Didn't she just play at the middle school?
She was trying, that's what she was trying to get back.
Would they be okay if they were adjustable, portable baskets and
Oh,
not?
you have to ask her about the basketball
Okay.
for some kids. I don't know. You have to ask how that
Yeah,
works.
I mean, I think the portable ones are fine for third through fifth grade. But
If they're hooked to the wall, that's major
Storage?
expense.
they need to be stored in a
And
way.
like,
Well,
what goes on?
And we have the boys and girls.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to store them.
You
can't get them in the closet.
We need,
No, they're too tall for the closet. And I don't know where we would put them, like,
Third to
these-
fourth, fifth grade.
especially the
at
kids in
middle
Addis-
school anymore.
anytime you rent it out,
or
there'll be.
anytime that they have children running around, even.
How hard are they
Isn't
to
it really
move
wide?
from West Hall to East Hall if you had?
I could've
They're
went to-
heavy.
I could've
They're
went to Mr.
You
Egan's
have
house.
knowledge
Yeah.
that-
Oh, they roll. They're just that, look, I roll those around by myself all the time, really in and out of that building. You've seen me do it before.
But I was helping out with it. We can coach it.
Like, put that the bottom of the pole is-
But no matter where you have it, you have to coach
Yeah,
it.
you can move.
Very often to move.
But I think we would need to make sure that we would have need for the goals before we go out and purchase them.
Yeah.
Like, is there a league? How many kids are interested? If you just got 7
And why are
kids,
they
you
not being allowed,
you know,
why are they not being allowed to use the middle school?
is there some?
Well, because they wasn't at the middle school. They was actually having theirs. I mean, they was having theirs at the middle school, but we couldn't get enough coaches over there.
yeah, I think we need to
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
reach out to Miss Quinn again and see what because there was a roadblock last year. She had it
Yeah.
all going, because she had to like refund money back.
Rolling them in and out is what's
Something
going back too,
happened
Lisa.
last year, and I don't know if it's school, county,
But if they can't, I just think the community center is for the community.
absolutely.
If there's something that we can do to get these people to use our community center, it should be there for them to use.
Well, and even if it's the city, even if they could go back to the middle school, but they could have
Right.
extra place to practice
Right,
at
that
the
would be good.
community center,
Right.
or,
The only thing with that is our rentals and our day-to-day use.
yeah.
If they play on Saturdays,
You can't rent out the
you know,
community
we
center.
can't rent the hall.
Yeah.
We have parties that come in on, start setting up on Friday.
Well, I don't understand, we have 3 schools right there, there's no,
I mean, if you can get coaches, if you can get coaches, I'll go back to Mr. Edie to get it back at the middle school. But the last time that we had it there, we didn't have enough coaches.
there was something
Yeah.
left last year. I think we need to figure out what that is first.
So,
Cause he even ended
I
up
know there was. I
trying to
know there was-
coach,
I
with
know
coaching the girls.
People wanted to. Probably
I'll definitely check on Miss Quinn.
Oh, and we've got plenty of time to do that before the next
Before
time
next-
there's basketball.
Oh,
Yeah, it's, thank you.
winter.
Plenty of time.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
Thanks, I almost forgot that. I'm glad you brought that up.
All right, I've got Bedford's motion to adjourn. I just need a second.
Second.
All right.